Oh, hi folks, and welcome to another edition of the Movie Mad channel. I haven't got many pickups over the last couple of weeks. Well, since my last out and about video anyway. But I did go out today and get a few pickups, which I just realised I left over there, so I need to pick them up in a minute to show them to you. But before I go on to the movie pickups that I got, dogs here. Whoa, and my light just went out over there. That's pretty spooky. I'll have to go fix that. Right back. Oh, there we go. Technical difficulties. As you can see, we spare no expense on production value. So, as I was saying, before I go on to the movie pickups, I just wanted to let you know, guys, know what I was doing over the last 3 or 4 weeks, apart from movie pickups. And I've been continuing to combine my Blu-rays and DVDs, and I've kept on doing that just every so often going through my DVD case, have a look, see if there's one that I like. And I was originally going to do it with all my favourite movies, but then I just decided I'll just do it with as many as I can on there. And I've got, like, you can buy 100 Blu-ray cases, 50, is it 100 or 50? I can't remember if it's 100 or 50 for £20, but I do that, and then I combine them, and then I get the odd one in the charity shop, and I get the odd one, like for 33p, and I just started to combine all the ones that I can into DVD Blu-ray combos. Let's just grab one, show you an example. Oh, in fact, look, I had to go and pick this one out, which is a guilty pleasure of my one, which is Richard Gere and Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, and see, that's what I've done. So I've got the original, the Blu-ray, and I've got the DVD there, and I've just been doing that, and that's been keeping me busy. Oh, I've also been really keeping up with this debate on digital and not being yours, and I watched Elliot Cohen's video on that, and this is the thing. I prefer physical media. I do over digital. Now I do recognise digital's convenience, but there's just a number of things that annoy me about digital. And one thing that annoys me about digital is the prices. Sometimes the price on digital can be more than the cost of the Blu-ray. And if we all continue to buy digital and all continue to not buy the Blu-ray, then eventually there'll be only one market and only one choice, and that will then inevitably lead to price rises, lack of availability, and overall price fixing, I think. So if there's 3 digital platforms, they've all got the movie for $9.99. I think that by eliminating the physical media, then they'll be able to get away with that. Whereas when you've got Blu-rays and things like that, you can't do that at the moment. Sometimes Blu-rays and sometimes 4Ks are more expensive than the digital, but quite often or not, the digital can be more expensive. Now, saying that, I noticed that Apple, thanks to the post on Big Polish Chat and Movies, by the way, somebody told me that the Apple TV is now on the Xbox One, which it is, and I have got 4 movies in iTunes that I got the codes out of my DVDs or my Blu-rays, and I put that on there. So digital has its place, it has its conveniences, and I like to use it as much as the next person, but I just think it's got too many limitations for it to be the primary format that I watch movies on. Also, when you do put a disc in, the sound is just so much better. I think the quality is just so much better as well. Maybe in time that'll catch up, but I just think by eliminating the physical media, you're eliminating choice, and I don't think that's a good thing. Also, the cost and the subscription service. There's a good video on this about from Films at Home, so I might actually make a video on that and put my points across a bit better than I've done here, because I was just off the spur of the moment. So that's what I was saying. So saying that, I do watch quite a bit of movies on streaming services if I can, and that's, to be honest with you, if I've got the Blu-ray, I will pop the Blu-ray in. But if I don't own it and there's new content, then I will watch it. But I will always try and aim to get that on physical media at some point. So that being said, I've got a wee list here of things I watched over the last 3 weeks and just quick thoughts on them. So first of all, I watched The Queen's Gambit. I'm doubting myself here. Is it Gamblet or Gambit? And that's terrible because I can play chess. It's Queen's Gambit. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. And I watched that, and it's about an orphan girl in an orphanage in America who becomes a chess master after being taught by the janitor. But it's not as a straightforward story as that, because when she was in the orphanage, there were certain things that happened to her that affected her life and made her, shall we say, not the straightest arrow. So that, I really, really enjoyed that. I watched all 6 episodes. I watched 3 one night and I watched the 3 the next night, and they were really, really good, and I really enjoyed that. And that was such a good program. It sort of inspired. My son likes to play chess occasionally, so I got the chessboard out and we had a few games. Don't know if I can show you something quickly. Yeah, you guys stay there. I'll be right back. I'm sure you're already interested, but this is my chess book for my moves from when I was in the chess club. Look, I think the last match in it. So look at the last match. Is that the last one? I think it is. 1995. There we go. So there you go. And I've still got that chess book, and it's still not finished. So there's a lot of blank spaces which I could probably fill up. But saying that, the Netflix series was absolutely brilliant. That's well worth watching. I thought it was really good, and maybe it's because I've got an interest in that I found it so good. But check out the first episode, see what happens. I don't know if I should admit this. Yeah, I definitely should admit it. I don't think I've ever seen Dr. No. James Bond, Sean Connery, and I have just been sent that kindly by Jason TV Movies, who found it in the Poundland for me, and I have got the DVD of that too, which I got at the charity shop the other day, and again I've combined that into two, and I thought, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this movie. You know what, I might have seen it on TV, I might have half watched it, I might have forgot about it, but I sat and watched it, and the first thing that struck me about it was so 60s. It was a decent movie, don't get me wrong, it just was out my era, shall we say, and it was still a good movie, and I could see the charisma that Sean Connery had in that role. I once seen an interview with him, and it said that they almost spent as much on James Bond's clothes as they did on the entire sets for the movie, and you can see that it fit the clothes fit him like a glove, and I think it adds to the whole like, I'm trying to say, the whole scene of the movie where you see he's tailored, he's fitting, he's strapping, he's good tall guy, and you can just see where the appeal and the charisma comes from in that. And I thought it was a good movie. I just thought it was a bit 60s, which, no bad thing on there. So I watched that. I also watched Draft Day by Kevin Costner, and I got recommended on that by another Scottish YouTuber. I think it's Man vs. Film he's called, and I'd never seen him before from last on YouTube, but I've seen him in the last couple of months. And I watched, and he has got some good videos about 10 movies on Netflix or 10 movies on Amazon Prime, you can recommend. And I was surprised I hadn't heard about this movie, because I'm a big Kevin Costner fan. And I watched it and I thought it was an absolutely great film. You didn't have to know anything about American football to enjoy this. I think it's a story about a man who starts off in a desperate position and manages to turn it around through his confidence and being true to himself. I think it was a great movie. The next thing I watched, or this one's I tried to watch, which was The Liberator on Netflix. It looked like a good war story about the Native American and combined Mexican troops that come from Italy to land at Sicily and go through Italy all the way to Germany. But the style is like a cartoon style, and I just couldn't watch it. I just didn't like the style, and I had to turn it off. I watched one episode, then thought, surely all the episodes are still in this same style. And I looked at the second one, it was, and the style just didn't do anything for me. Maybe people will disagree with that, but it just wasn't for me. So I turned it off, and I haven't watched any more. That I also watched Ghost of War on Netflix. Again, say I watched it. I got halfway through it and it just wasn't keeping my attention enough. And I found myself browsing on my phone for 5 or 10 minutes and losing place in the movie. And I thought, well, if that's the case, I'm just not going to watch it now. So I turned it off as well. I did, however, watch Patch Adams all the way through. Another great Robin Williams movie. And I thought I'm sure you have all seen it. But if you haven't seen Patch Adams, I would thoroughly recommend that as well. Another movie I haven't seen, which is Split Second with Rutger Hauer. And I had no idea about this movie. I'd never seen it. But it's set in London in a storm with a serial killer at some point in the distant future. It's obviously an 80 film. And the reason I watched it is I've seen lots of people getting the releases of this on the 101 Black Label. I've got 3 101 Black Labels like there. And I was thinking about buying it, but I do a lot of blind buying, but I've got to be a bit careful. And I thought I'll watch this and see if I enjoyed it. It's got Kim Cattrall in it as well. Did I enjoy the movie? Yes, but I think it was a bit dated for me. And I think when you see movies that you haven't seen when they were released, sometimes that can happen. Was it a good movie? Was it probably a good movie at the time? Yes, I think so. But for me, I just didn't connect with it in the way I should. So will I pick it up on 101 Black Label? Probably will, but not at the full $14.99 price. I'll probably wait till it drops down in a sale, or I say it in CX or something like that on there. So that's not a first release purchase for me. But to be fair, not many things are. I also watched First Night, and that's a movie that I remember Sean Connery in, and I enjoyed that movie thoroughly when it was out the first time, and then I watched it again just last night, and it's a great story, and I think you can tell that Sean Connery is a great actor, and the reason you can tell that is that there's a scene. If you've not seen First Night, there's going to be a spoiler here, so if you didn't want to listen to that, you can skip the next minute or so. So the Sean Connery is playing the King Arthur, and obviously there's a knight in there because it's called First Night. Pretty straightforward, and that's Richard Gere, and Arthur has just been married to Guinevere, and he catches Guinevere and Lancelot in a kiss and an embrace. And when he walks in the room, you can see the look on Sean Connery's face, or the heart, and he bends over and it's just slightly holding his stomach. And I think you can feel what he's feeling in that particular scene. And I think that's a sign of a great actor. If anyone's got any thoughts on it, again, let me know. But that's one I do want to own on Blu-ray. But again, it's a bit expensive. And I say a bit expensive. Somebody pointed out to me last night it's £15 on eBay. But for me, they say it's a lot of money. But when there's so many movies to buy, that is quite a bit to fork out. Saying that, I forked out more than that today, so I could have got it. You know what I mean? There's just so many movies, so little money. There we go. I have also been watching Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula, Sam Beckett, Quantum Leap, and I think Enterprise was a good show, and I think it didn't get a fair shake, to be quite honest. The first couple of seasons, I've enjoyed them so far, and I know I've seen the next two seasons because I've watched these over and over again. And the third season is where they make the mistake where they have the plot for this India. I think that sort of ruins people's view on Star Trek Enterprise. Uh, but they recover it in the fourth season, and I think they were just starting to really get there, and they should have got another 3 or 4 seasons out of that. And I think it was a decent show, and that's why I keep continue to watch it. Right, what else did I watch? Well, this one is a hard one for me to say. I watched Star Trek Discovery. I watched season 1 of that about a year ago. And when I say a year ago, I got through the first couple of episodes, and it just wasn't Star Trek, I found. And as much I like to support Star Trek, and I like to support all the series that they come out with, but I just couldn't get through this. And I continue to watch an episode every now and again, but it wasn't enjoyable. And like other seasons of Star Trek, sometimes the first and second seasons of them aren't as enjoyable, and the story arcs start to come in the later seasons. So I've tried to persist with it, and I've watched season 2, and I'm halfway through season 2, and again, to be honest with you, I'm just finding it torturous watching it. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying season 3 is absolutely great, and that's what I'd like to get to, is like to get there, and it is great, but I'm just not feeling it at the moment. It is actually, let's say, really, really hard to watch, I'm finding anyway. Maybe in a couple of years I'll change my mind. Maybe when I see the later episodes it'll all click into place, but for now it's just not working for me. So I've been watching an odd episode of that just to try and get in. So that's what I've watched over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've probably watched a lot more, but I can't remember. So I'm clapping my dog down here. And so if you've stuck with the video so far, I do appreciate it. And what I'll do is I will now show you my pickups I've got over the last couple of weeks. Not many, just a few. Let me just grab them. Okay, so in my last movie hunting video, I'd advised I'd ordered a couple of Blu-rays from the Indicator collection, and this is it right here. This is Charles Bronson and the Stone Killer, and I picked that one up because it's a Charles Bronson movie, and I quite like Charles Bronson, and I hadn't got that one, and it was $7.99, so that's a pretty decent deal. And it's a high definition remaster. It says original mono sound, so this looks like a Blu-ray 1973. So, and a Michael Winner film. So again, that's who directed them in Death Wish. So I picked that one up, and I also picked up John Carpenter's Vampires, and again that was $7.99, and again that's a high definition remaster, but it's got 5.1 soundtrack, and I enjoy this movie, so I've picked up those two. But what I'd done, as I said, is I bought 2 copies of each. So I took, these were worth £12 and £13 trade-in to CX. So I took them in and I traded them in just after I got these arrived, which was about a week and a half ago. So I kept these 2, and I got a £25 voucher for the other 2. So $34.99 or $31.99. I can't quite remember what it was. I think it was $31.99, and so I got those to keep, and I've got a £25 voucher. Here is the Dr. No that Jason sent me. He also sent me another one, so I'm very grateful for that. I really appreciate that. And again, I have combined it, as I was telling you earlier, with my DVD copy. So there you go. And as I was in Thailand today, I found another one, and that it is You Only Live Twice, James Bond. So I picked that one up as well, and that was, they did have another one for Your Eyes Only, but Jason had already sent me that as well, and I can't, for the life of me, remember which shelf I put it on. I'm sure I'll find it at some point. But thank you for that, Jason. I really appreciate that, and it's always good. So he's got some that he's on the lookout for too, and if I find them, I'll post them back to him. So appreciate that. And as I was in CX today, I had my £25 voucher. I didn't say it was burnt a hole in my pocket, but I like to store vouchers up, so I've always got some for when I need them. But when I went in there today, I couldn't believe. Well, I could believe it. This was on the shelf for £40, which is the Back to the Future 4K and Blu-ray disc set. And out of all the 4Ks that came out first day, this is the one that I'd like to own the most. And I said, I've got the movies. I can wait a year and it'll drop down in price, and I'll probably get it for about £30 or something like that. But as I had the £25 voucher, I put £15 towards it, and now I've got it. So I'm really happy with that. Now there's loads of unboxings of this on YouTube, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But I'm just happy to own that one into my collection. So very happy with that. I have ordered a few other things through the mail, but they've not shown up yet. So just in light of that, just so that you know, Cinema Diso on eBay again. Cinema Paradiso on eBay again has got quite a few 4Ks and Blu-rays at a reasonable price, so have a look there. The entertainment store on eBay have got a 3 for 2 offer on, and I've got 3 movies coming from that. And on Amazon, I mentioned this in the last pickup video, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has dropped to $4.99 on Amazon. It's also on zoom.co.uk for that price as well. So check them out, and if you do want that, then let me know. So that is my video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've got any comments or any questions about it, I'd appreciate that. Do like interacting with all the subscribers on there, even if you've not subscribed. I think 50% of the people that watch my videos haven't subscribed. Maybe they see me and I put them off. Or maybe I'm just not the right channel for them, but there you go. So if you do want to subscribe, I do appreciate that. As I say, I'd like to get 1,000 so I can do the live streams on my phone, because you can't do that on your phone unless you've got 1,000, and my computer's not up to it. So there you go. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.